If you have minor children, it's very important to plan ahead for any assets you have that you would want to leave to them as an inheritance, because it can be very difficult if you have minor children if they have to go through a probate. So typically we're planning with trusts, and we're making sure that we carefully think through how to leave them assets in a way that would support them and that would make their life better, that would make everything available for their education and their health, but that they wouldn't receive anything sooner or at a time when they wouldn't be mature enough to handle it. So we talk a lot about the best way to plan for leaving an inheritance to your children. The best way to leave an inheritance for your child, we talk about different options because it can be dependent on what your assets are and what your wishes are, what you'd like to accomplish. But there's two major ways that we really talk through. There's a traditional way where we might choose different ages and percentages, a time when they would be old enough or mature enough to be able to manage assets on their own. An alternative way that we talk about is leaving it to them in an inheritance trust, which is a way to give them the gift of asset protection. And both of those are great ways. We talk about the pros and cons, and the best way to leave your kids an inheritance is really to make sure that you just plan ahead. So the person who manages your child's inheritance, if your child is under age 18, is really someone that you would choose. And we typically talk through that decision very carefully, but really it's someone that you would trust and who would be organized, a person who would be responsible and who would be able to make good decisions and follow the instructions that we lay out in the trust. I'm a parent myself, and one of the most important and probably one of my favorite practice areas is really planning for families with young children. And it's really the foundation of all the planning that we do here. We talk a lot about how to name guardians, how to leave an inheritance behind for your kids, and really doing that in a thoughtful and meaningful way so that you're really being the best parent that you can possibly be. The reason someone would hire our firm to be their estate planning attorney is, first off, we do everything by flat fee agreed upon in advance. That way we don't have to do hourly billing, and we can have the kind of conversation that I think is important to have with your family trust attorney. Second, we make the process as easy as possible for you. A lot of the families we work with value ease and efficiency. They're busy, and systems that we have in place are designed to make the process smooth. We typically have your planning ready for you to sign in about 4 to 6 weeks, and we have a team in place to support you along the way. Third, we really look at this as the beginning of a lifetime relationship with our firm. We have 3-year review meetings and other communications with our clients, webinars for our clients, so that we can really develop that kind of lifetime relationship. We make it really easy for you to check out what our current and past clients have said about us and the experience that they've had with our firm, and it's right on our website. Client communication is very important to us, and that's why we have a team in place so that we can better support you in terms of responding to your questions. Typically, we would get back to you within 24 hours, and we also respond by email or by chat. That way we can make sure that we're being responsive. We are a boutique style firm, which means that we're a small team that works together closely so that we can be most responsive to our clients. In our initial consultation, we do ask for you to prepare some homework in advance. That way we're both prepared to have a really productive meeting. And we start with today. If something unexpected happened today, what would happen next with your kids, with your assets? That's with no planning in place. And that gives us a good foundation to talk about what would you want to see different than what would currently happen. That gives us time to have conversation. We can make recommendations about what we would recommend for putting a plan in place that would not only protect your children with naming guardians, but would also protect them by leaving them assets in a protected way.